Okay, welcome to part 2 of the Fender Squier mod video that I did earlier. So, first of all, is if you watch the first video, which probably should have been the second video and this one should have been first, uh, I talked about cleaning out your cavity, cleaning out the joint in there with sandpaper, just clean it out, make sure it has a good wood to wood fit. And I talked about some other things, but I'm going to, first of all, let me explain about this guitar. I don't know if I did that. What we have is I don't know if you can see that, Deluxe Series Squier Stratocaster, made in Indonesia. And I just, this sunburst, I like that 70s headstock. This is a Squier. It's the wood is probably some kind of it's very porous wood. It's not a hardwood. It's not a it's a budget guitar. It looks nice though. And so to make this guitar sound better, we had to do a couple of modifications, and one was that trem block. I know I talked about that last time. I replaced one of the springs with a trem setter. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm going to start back here. Okay, the tuner, I like little Planet Wave tuners, but whatever kind of tuner you have, I screwed it in. So what? I made a hole in the little Squier. It's fine. I wanted to make sure that these tuners are meant to pick up the vibration of the guitar itself. So you want good contact for that tuner to pick up the vibration. Second, I added those they're Tusk string tees. I don't know if you can see that. It's permanently lubricated nuts and saddles and string tees. So there you go. That in my opinion made a good difference. It gave it, it's hard to describe. It gave it a softer feel, softer sound. The tuners are stock tuners, but if you really want to modify your guitar, you can put stagger tuners, which this pole height here is short, this is intermediary, and these are normal. And it's meant to work in conjunction with your string tees to pull the tension down. I don't know if you can see how, yeah, you need those strings pulled down. Just because the way the straight headstock is. Second of all, I replaced the pick guard and rewired it for just one pickup, just one volume. And I ordered a blank pick guard from someplace on eBay and cut out where I wanted it. And I know it looks rather weird, but I like the pickup in that location. And I'm just playing with it for right now. The other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to float. Wait. I don't know if I talked about this last time. There's a small there's a small ball bearing and a spring in here, and there is also this the threads of this whammy bar have been coated with a couple of strips of Teflon. I don't have any, just that little blue Teflon. So it has it's snug, has a good feel. I wanted to float it. I floated it last time and I had to redo it because I put in the trem setter. But I don't think I talked about that. Let's see. See how it's not flush? It's suspended off of the body of the guitar itself. And I just put this in, I guess, a few days ago. and I'm not going to explain how I put it in, but I did put it in, and it works. I like it. I like it a lot. You don't have to have one to float your tremolo. If you float it and you find that it keeps going out of tune, which it will, the easiest thing you can do is reset it, and it'll get you pretty close in the ballpark of the tuning that you had. And what that entails is real simple, super simple. Just a good up and down. You're resetting that. You're just up and down, and the strings go back to their natural state, and you find yourself in the ballpark of being tuned. Anyhow, I think that's all the modifications I've done to this. If I was going to make a third video and talk about other modifications, I would probably change out these saddles. These I haven't changed out because frankly they do their job, and I kind of like them. They're not the greatest, but it's not the greatest guitar. Probably I would, if I was going to replace them, I would replace them with the Tusk. But whichever you replace these with, the replacements have to match the original width of the individual widths and the overall width. So if you see on my pickup, the strings are pretty much right over the poles. It's a little off, maybe a little bit. It looks, but that's what you want. And the spacing, when you have a wider spacing, it throws it out. It gives you less room over here. It moves this string, the strings out close to the edge, and those strings are then prone to roll off. So if you are going to replace the saddles, make sure that you maintain that original or whichever string height, saddle width that your guitar is meant to have for that particular. If it's American Standard, it's of one dimension. If it's made in Mexico, it's another, and the made in Mexico may or may not be the same as the made in Indonesia, but probably all the Asian measurements would be the same. And next time I might make a third video, because we have more than one pick guard with different pickups, and this is the one I really like right now, but we'll see if I make a third video. Until then, thank you, appreciate it.